Hey everyone, so today we're talking about mitosis and how a cell divides. So we talked a little bit about in the PDN how when you get a cut, there's, some of your cells are missing. But then over time, after a couple of days, the skin like fills in that gap. So where did those skin cells come from? Well, they came from your other skin cells. So all of our cells undergo what's called mitosis, which is how they copy themselves and then split into two cells. So what happens in mitosis is everything inside gets copied, it gets separated to the edges, and then the cell splits down the middle, and then you have two cells that are identical. And then those two cells will copy and split, and then you have four cells. Those four cells will split to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32, and so on. So that is how, also, like, that's just how we grow. That is how our cells are constantly getting replaced, okay? So we're going to look through here while this plays. So this right here is just under a microscope. These are cells undergoing cytokinesis, which is when it splits, okay? So here you have, this is all DNA. So what happens, what you're going to see, what you're noticing, the DNA was all together and now it's kind of pulling apart. So watch that, how it pulls apart. Now, I need you to imagine that there's a cell membrane here, okay? And the DNA is copied. So this DNA right here is identical to this DNA, all right? And these cannot be in the same cell because that's too much DNA, all right? So this cell is getting ready to split, okay? So this is part of the cell cycle. The mitotic phase is a very small part. So first step, you've got your DNA inside of the nucleus, okay? Now, mitosis is only, hint, guys, this is going to help you later in today's lesson. Mitosis can only happen if a cell has a nucleus. So remember back to last week, prokaryotes do not have a nucleus. So some bacteria and some viruses, most all viruses, do not have a nucleus. So they do not go under mitosis. Okay, there's another phase. There's another process called binary fission, which we will talk about in a little bit. Okay, so if a cell is going through mitosis, then you know that it is a eukaryote, which means multicellular. They have a nucleus. Prokaryotes are unicellular, only one cell, and they do not have a nucleus. So this DNA is copying itself and it's doubling. It's doubling. Okay, these are chromosomes. See how they look like chromosomes? All right. Now they're moving into the next phase, which is called pro-metaphase, and now in metaphase, everything, look at this, everything starts to line up. All the DNA starts to line up in the middle of the cell in a straight line, okay? And then these little fibers come out and grab onto the center of the chromosome. This is called the centromere, okay? And it attaches, all right? Watch. Gosh, our bodies are so cool. So metaphase, everything is lining up in the middle. Anaphase, look at this. These fibers start to pull and it snaps the copied chromosome. So now one copy goes into one side of the cell, the other copy goes in the other side of the cell. This is still one cell right now, okay? So then anaphase, everything is getting moved to the edges. And then telophase, look at this. Look, this is the nucleus right here. The nucleus is coming back around the DNA. Because remember, the DNA lives inside of the nucleus in multicellular organisms. In unicellular organisms, the DNA is just floating around, okay? So mitosis is only for eukaryotic organisms or multicellular. So then once those nuclei come back, we get into cytokinesis, where, look at this, the cell literally starts to pinch right here in the middle until it separates completely and you have two cells. And then those two cells will do the same thing, okay? Now you're gonna look at a picture of some onion cells and you're gonna try to make sense of why they look so different. Good luck.